been told that slowing down is just part of getting older. That shortness of breath, that sudden fatigue, that little swelling around your ankles. They say it's just age. But here's the shocking truth. It's not. In fact, what most seniors think is just normal aging could actually be one of the earliest signs of heart failure. A silent condition that creeps in years before doctors give it a name. And the scariest part, most of the time, it's completely reversible if caught early. If you or someone you love is over 60, what you're about to hear could quite literally change the rest of your life. Because by the end of this story, you'll know the 5 hidden warning signs that doctors rarely talk about, and the simple, practical ways to stop them before they stop your heart. Let's get started. I want to take you back to a moment I'll never forget. A few years ago, a man named Harold came into my clinic. He was 74, proud, independent, still mowing his lawn every week. But lately, he said, something felt off. He'd get winded walking to the mailbox, his shoes felt tighter, and he found himself falling asleep in his recliner every afternoon. His previous doctor told him it was just old age, nothing to worry about. But when I ran a few simple tests, what we found shocked him, and honestly, it shook me too. Harold wasn't just aging. His heart was quietly struggling, working overtime to do what it used to do easily. He had the early stages of heart failure, and he didn't even know it. The good news? Harold caught it early enough to turn things around. Today, he's back to his morning walks. He's lost 20 pounds, and he says he feels 10 years younger. That is why this message matters so much, because early heart failure doesn't look like heart failure. It looks like life just getting harder, but it's not aging, it's warning you. So let's pull back the curtain. Here are the 5 early signs of heart failure most seniors miss, starting with one that hides in plain sight. Number 1. You are more tired than you should be, and it is not because you getting older. Fatigue is one of the first whispers your heart gives when it's struggling, and yet most seniors brush it off. You see, your heart is a muscle, your most important one. When it weakens, it can't pump enough oxygen-rich blood to your muscles and brain. That leaves you drained, foggy, and sometimes even a little irritable. Here's what I want you to pay attention to. If you find yourself tired before you even start your day, or exhausted after simple tasks like showering, making breakfast, or folding laundry, that's not normal aging. That's your heart asking for help. But here's where the truth gets shocking. Many people, especially seniors, unknowingly train their bodies to tolerate fatigue. They adapt. They start moving slower, sleeping more, doing less. They think they're adjusting to age, when really they're letting their heart decline without realizing it. If that sounds like you, I want you to know something powerful. You can reverse it. Simple longevity secrets like 10 minutes of gentle mobility exercises each morning, deep breathing, and a few heart-nourishing nutrients, magnesium, omega-3s, and CoQ10, can restore energy in ways that feel almost miraculous. So if you've been feeling unusually tired, don't ignore it. Fatigue is your body's alarm clock, and it's time to wake up. Wait until we get to number 3, because that one fools even doctors. Number 2. Your feet, ankles, or lower legs start to swell, especially by the end of the day. This one might seem harmless, but it's often one of the most telling signs that your heart isn't keeping up. When the heart weakens, blood doesn't circulate efficiently. Fluid begins to leak from the blood vessels into surrounding tissues, usually starting at the lowest point of gravity, your ankles. I once had a patient named Margaret, a retired teacher who loved gardening. She came to me complaining that her shoes felt tighter by dinner time, but fine in the morning. She thought it was just summer swelling. But when we dug deeper, we found her heart's pumping function had dropped below 45%. She wasn't in crisis yet, but she was headed there. Here's the amazing part. After 6 months of small lifestyle changes, gentle daily walks, and a focus on independent living routines like leg elevation and salt awareness, her swelling disappeared completely. The body is incredibly forgiving when you catch things early. Now, here's a quick way to test yourself. Press your thumb gently into your ankle. If the indentation stays for a few seconds instead of bouncing back, your body may be retaining fluid. It doesn't automatically mean heart failure, but it does mean something's off in your circulation. And here's the encouraging truth: your body can recover. Heart-healthy habits like staying hydrated, adding potassium-rich foods like avocado and spinach, and practicing 5 minutes of ankle mobility exercises every day can dramatically improve circulation. Never underestimate small, consistent action. It's how we rebuild strength at any age. But here's where the story gets even more interesting, because the next sign doesn't show up on your body. It shows up in your breath. Number 3. You can't catch your breath like you used to. Now this one is tricky because it sneaks up on people. Most seniors assume breathlessness comes from being out of shape or just getting older. But here's the reality: your heart and lungs are partners. When your heart isn't pumping efficiently, fluid can back up into the lungs, making it harder to breathe. You might notice it when climbing stairs or lying flat at night. Maybe you find yourself propping up an extra pillow or waking up gasping for air. If that's happening, don't ignore it. It's one of the body's loudest early warnings that your heart is under stress. Let me tell you about one more patient, James, a 68-year-old former firefighter, strong as an ox. He came in one day, frustrated that he couldn't finish his morning walks without feeling winded. He joked, "Doc, I think my lungs forgot how to work." But after a few quick checks, we realized it wasn't his lungs, it was his heart. The left side wasn't pushing blood efficiently, causing fluid to build up where it shouldn't. The good news? James made a comeback most people would call impossible. Through steady diet improvements, gentle resistance training, and stress reduction, he not only reversed the early heart failure, but returned to hiking again within a year. That's the power of early awareness. When you understand what your body is saying, you give it the chance to heal. Now, if you're thinking, "Doc, I'm not breathless, but I do get lightheaded sometimes," then you'll want to listen very closely to the next one, because sign number 4 might be the most overlooked of all. Number 4, dizziness, brain fog, or sudden confusion. This one often flies completely under the radar. Many seniors chalk it up to senior moments, dehydration, or even medication side effects. But sometimes those foggy spells are your brain crying out for oxygen. When your heart can't pump enough blood, your brain feels it first. The result? You forget things, lose your balance, or feel disoriented after standing up too quickly. And here is something few doctors talk about. Early cognitive decline is often linked not just to brain changes, but to poor circulation from heart strain. That means improving your heart health doesn't just protect your life, it sharpens your mind. Here is where it gets truly hopeful. Research now shows that seniors who practice daily balance and coordination movements, simple things like standing on one leg while brushing your teeth or gentle mobility exercises like Tai Chi, can boost blood flow to the brain by up to 30%. That's how you reverse aging at the cellular level, through movement, oxygen, and intention. But there's a deeper emotional layer to this sign that I want to touch on. So many older adults start to believe the lie that they're fading, that the best years are behind them. But I've seen too many comebacks, too many transformations to ever believe that. Your body is a brilliant machine. It doesn't want to fail. It wants to adapt. You just have to give it the right signals. When you start reclaiming your energy, circulation, and confidence, you don't just extend your lifespan, you reclaim your independence, your joy, and your sense of purpose. And isn't that what this stage of life should be about? Not surviving, but thriving. Now, before I reveal the final sign, and it's a powerful one, I want to ask you something personal. Which of these first 4 signs have you noticed in yourself, or maybe in someone you love? Fatigue that feels unusual? Swelling? Shortness of breath? That lightheaded feeling that doesn't quite make sense? Leave me a comment below and share your story. Not just for me, but for the thousands of other seniors watching who might see themselves in your words. Because the truth is, awareness spreads faster than disease ever could, and your story might be the one that helps someone catch it early. All right, now take a deep breath, because we're about to uncover one more sign, the one that even the most experienced doctors often overlook. Yet it's one of the body's final early warnings before things get serious. And when you understand this one, you'll never look at your heart or your aging body the same way again. Because sign number 5 is the one that hides behind your emotions. It's the sign that too many seniors ignore, or worse, blame on their circumstances. It's something that shows up quietly, in the pauses of your day, in the heaviness behind your chest that you can't quite explain. Number 5, you begin to lose your spark, your motivation, your joy, your will to do the things you once loved. Now, you might be thinking, how could that possibly be related to heart failure? But here's the truth that almost no one talks about. When your heart struggles physically, your emotional energy collapses right along with it. Your body and your mind are one system. When your circulation slows, oxygen to your brain drops. Your body produces less serotonin and dopamine, the very chemicals that make you feel alive, curious, and connected. The result? You start withdrawing. You lose interest in social activities, skip your morning walk, say, maybe tomorrow, to things that once brought you joy. But here's what I want you to remember with absolute certainty. That spark isn't gone. It's just dimmed, and you have the power to bring it back. There's a phenomenon called the vitality loop. When you move your body, even gently, it tells your brain, I'm still here, I'm still capable. That message reignites motivation, and motivation feeds the body's will to heal. So if you've been feeling like life has dulled, that might not be sadness or aging. It could be your heart asking for renewal. And the moment you start acting on that awareness, your body begins to listen. Now that you know the 5 warning signs, fatigue, swelling, shortness of breath, dizziness, and emotional decline, the real question is, what can you do about it? Because information without action doesn't change a thing. So let's talk about the 5 heart-healing habits that can not only slow down heart failure, but in many cases begin to reverse aging from the inside out. The first heart-healing habit: move gently, but move daily. You don't need a gym. You don't need to run marathons. You just need consistency. The heart thrives on rhythm. Walking, light stretching, swimming, or even simple mobility exercises like arm circles or chair squats keep your heart strong, flexible, and responsive. Here is something powerful to remember. Even a 10-minute walk after meals can cut your risk of heart failure by almost half over time. That's not theory. That's real data, backed by years of clinical research. Movement also helps your lymphatic system drain excess fluid, supports circulation, and floods your body with oxygen. If you've been sedentary, start small. Walk to the mailbox twice a day. Do gentle ankle rolls while watching TV. Every small movement sends a message of strength to your body, and that message compounds. It's not about perfection. It's about momentum. Because when you move, you tell your body, I still belong here. The second habit: eat for your heart, not your hunger. We've been taught to focus on calories, but the heart doesn't care about calories. It cares about nourishment. Foods that strengthen the heart aren't complicated. They're simple, often ancient. Oats, berries, leafy greens, olive oil, walnuts, salmon, lentils, garlic. And yes, dark chocolate, the pure kind, can do wonders for circulation. But here's the part that surprises most people. What you leave out matters even more. Processed sugars, excess salt, and inflammatory oils silently exhaust your heart. They force your body into constant repair mode, leaving less energy for healing. When you start feeding your heart what it needs, clean fuel, it responds in ways you can feel within days. Better energy, lighter mood, clearer mind. That's not magic. That's biology remembering its balance. The third habit, protect your sleep as if it were medicine, because it is. Heart failure risk doubles when sleep quality declines, not the number of hours, but the depth. When you sleep deeply, your heart slows, repairs, and resets. It's like charging your internal battery. If you find yourself waking often or struggling to fall asleep, try this. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Avoid screens, stretch your legs, or take 5 deep breaths before lying down. And here is one more longevity secret. Sleeping slightly on your left side can actually improve circulation and reduce pressure on your heart. It's a small shift that makes a surprising difference. Think of sleep as your body's nightly reset button. The better you protect it, the stronger your heart becomes. The fourth habit, practice gratitude and deep breathing every single day. You might not expect this one, but it's the most powerful medicine I know. Your heart and your emotions share the same electrical network. When you're stressed, your heart rhythm becomes chaotic. When you're calm, grateful, and present, your rhythm steadies into what's called heart coherence. That state literally boosts oxygen flow, stabilizes blood pressure, and triggers the release of healing hormones. Every morning, before your feet touch the floor, take 10 slow breaths. With each inhale, picture energy flowing in. With each exhale, release fear, anger, or worry. Then think of 3 things you're grateful for, not grand things, simple ones. The sunlight through your window, the sound of your grandchild's laughter, the strength in your legs that still carry you. It's impossible to feel fear and gratitude at the same time. That's how you start to reverse aging, not with pills, but with presence. And the 5th heart-healing habit, reconnect with people, with nature, with purpose. Human beings are not meant to live in isolation, yet so many seniors end up alone, disconnected from friends, family, community. Loneliness is as dangerous to the heart as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. But here's the beautiful thing, connection doesn't need to be complicated. A weekly phone call, a walk with a neighbor, volunteering, mentoring, or even chatting with strangers at the market, it all counts. Every act of connection strengthens your emotional heart, and that, in turn, strengthens your physical one. When you give love, your body produces oxytocin, the hormone of healing. It lowers blood pressure, reduces inflammation, and literally makes your arteries more flexible. So don't underestimate kindness. It's not just good for your soul, it's therapy for your heart. Now, I want to share one last story with you. A story that still brings tears to my eyes every time I think of it. Her name was Evelyn. She was 82 when she first came to me, frail, tired, carrying years of quiet heartbreak. She had lost her husband, stopped gardening, and barely left her house. Her daughter brought her in because Evelyn had been struggling to breathe at night. She thought it was asthma, but her tests showed early-stage heart failure. When I told her, she didn't look afraid. She just said, "I knew something inside me was giving up." That day, I asked her one simple question. If your heart could speak, what would it ask of you right now? She thought for a long time, then whispered, "It would ask me to live again." So we made a plan. Nothing dramatic, just gentle daily walks, more water, fewer processed foods, and a gratitude journal she kept by her bedside. She joined a community gardening club that spring. She started singing again, something she hadn't done since her husband passed. And here's the part that still gives me chills. 6 months later, her follow-up scan showed a 20% improvement in her heart's pumping function. She said, "Dr. Levine, my heart didn't fail. It just needed a reason to keep going." Evelyn lived another 8 years. 8 vibrant, laughter-filled, garden-filled years. That's what I mean when I say the body wants to heal. It's never too late. Never. So if you take one thing from everything we've talked about today, let it be this. Your heart is not your enemy. It's your storyteller. It records every joy, every loss, every breath you take. and it's been waiting for you to listen. Those 5 early signs: fatigue, swelling, shortness of breath, dizziness, and emotional dullness. They aren't punishments. They're invitations. Invitations to pause, to notice, to care. And those 5 heart-healing habits, movement, nourishment, rest, gratitude, and connection, aren't rules. They're gifts, simple, powerful choices that rewrite your body's story from decline to renewal. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to begin. Because every heartbeat that follows that decision is a heartbeat reclaimed. Before we close, I want you to take a moment right now. Yes, right now, and place your hand over your chest. Feel that rhythm, that quiet, steady drum keeping time for your entire life. It's been there since before you were born, and it's still here, faithful, resilient, asking only for your attention. You have everything you need to protect it, to strengthen it, to let it carry you toward many more years of independence, joy, and purpose. So start today. Take the walk, make the call, choose the fresh food, breathe a little deeper, smile a little longer, because life doesn't slow down to match our years, it expands to match our courage. And if this message spoke to you, if it reminded you of someone you love or maybe even yourself, I'd like to ask one small favor. Share this video with them. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these habits you're starting with today. Your words might just be the spark that saves someone else's heart. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, because we're building something powerful here. A community of seniors rewriting the story of aging together. This isn't about living longer, it's about living better, with strength, clarity, and that unshakable light that never fades. Your heart has been waiting for this moment. Now, it's your turn to listen. So go live your next chapter, fully, freely, and fearlessly. Because the best years of your life might just be the ones you decide to fight for today.